Welcome back. So let's have a look at Alibaba. So today 6%. Yes, it has been swinging very large in the last week or so due to, everybody knows, stimulus. And here's what I'm watching for this stock. Ultra short term from options traders perspective. Implied volatility, if you are an options trader like me, is very high, okay? Which means you are paying a little bit of a premium, and decent of a premium actually. And if we take a look at the option activity, today Alibaba traded, it was the fourth most active stock options ticker out there in the market after Nvidia, Tesla, Apple. So the volume, well, of course, it's not going to exceed Nvidia. Nvidia has been pretty much very, very liquid, very, very high volume every single day. Nothing has beaten Nvidia throughout this year, but 584,000 contracts traded today total. And from that, 70% of that volume was call volume. And it could be also people selling some calls, some people monetizing, and some people getting in, because there's a lot of hype at the moment. Here's what I'm watching. So the levels, but before I jump into that, I want to go back to show you guys this chart right here. So this is Alibaba's outstanding shares from 2020 to all the way here, where we are here at the moment. 2.4, almost 2.39 billion outstanding shares. So what that chart represents is they have basically throughout these 4 years, they have purchased back almost, give or take, 10-11% of the outstanding shares, which is good. 11%, well, how you can look at it. So let's say if you bought a share of Alibaba for $90 today, $89, $90 today, it's giving you the same value of $100 back in right here. So that's what it is. So they have been basically, they have a lot of cash instead of of course they were investing, of course, but when during bear market times, that's what in US, if it was US stock right here, and US based company, traders, investors would love it to see a company that was buying back their shares throughout these tough times that we had in 2022, 2023. Of course, AI brought up everything, but because it's Chinese stocks and they were having pretty hard time over there, well, it's smart thing they did. But right here, right now, you are basically paying 10% less than you would back in 2020. That's what it is. And another thing here is the market capitalization of this stock. So the highest market capitalization in that time where it was trading at its peak, it was around 860 billion. A lot of people don't look at the market capitalization, but you should, because it's very large stock in China. And the fact that these big names at the moment, current valuation of Baba is 270 billion. And it's not normal to see every single day stock jump 5% up, 6% down, or vice versa, right? So this is very, very unusual. Alibaba doesn't trade with that range. Typical range for Alibaba, well, based on my average true range that I'm looking at it right now, is $3. Of course, it has changed. $3.61 average true range. Where today we have moved $6.62. What that means is that it is trading basically 2 standard deviations, maybe, with large range every single day. And sometimes you can see during market hours, it's not doing much, except for yesterday we had a very clean sell-off after the gap up. So which means you're taking the risk if you're a trader. And it has always been like this. When I traded Alibaba overnight, it would always move overnight. During our market time, it wouldn't move as much, and then next morning is basically was lottery, right? If you're trading, let's say, ultra short term, it would gap up big or gap down big, which would basically crush the option contracts if you were trading ultra short term ones. So exclusion last 2 days. Well, right here we know that it was profit taking, literally. Okay, this is not like people trying to short it. It's purely a lot of people who front run it earlier. They took a profit, and today we recovered it. So what I'm watching in terms of technicals from here, if you look at a daily chart, yes, very strong recovery, recovered everything. Volume is there, yes. Once volume starts fading, even though stock starts moving higher, don't be surprised that if your contract doesn't appreciate as much as it was appreciating right now, because IV will be coming down. IV will be adjusting to that average true range that it's going to have going forward from here. So that's very important to keep in mind. So very large resistance coming up for me would be this range of 120, 125. So that range right here. And if I bring up a little bit of, let's pull up the volume bars. You can see maybe even these levels of 114 to 120 all the way. Anything above from here, we have a decent resistance here. But once it clears the 125, there's not much of, let's go back a little bit further, right? 5 year like this. Not much of a resistance all the way to 160, 165-ish levels. Because the way it came down from these 166 all the way to these, let's say 130, 120s, it didn't trade much. It was just gap down, gap down. So this gap may fill at some point from 161 all the way to 146. So, but until then, of course, I'm running a little bit ahead, but I'm not recommending anybody to buy this stock right here, right now, because ultra short term, it has gone up a lot, and year to date, Alibaba is up 45% at the moment. I have put together right here Asia, so I don't know if I have all of the stocks here, but if I filter out the best performers, well, smaller cap Asian, basically Chinese names, performing very good year to date were Billy. It's a ADR. Another ADR is up 120%. Fudu Holdings up 96% because market capitalization a lot smaller. Tcom, I think it's Chinese stock as well. 73%. Tencent 51%. JD 48%. Alibaba 45%. But it's short term, yes, extended, but it can go a little bit, push maybe to 120s and stall there. At that moment, I'm going to be looking for some sort of, it can also definitely pull back, because at the moment, if you just look at the ultra short term moving averages, I mean, 5-day so far is acting support, maybe it is above it. And 20-day is way down here at $90 levels. So these, how many days? Like 10 trading sessions probably. We had this stock move up 30%, 33% at the moment. So very large move for a $270 billion company. So if you're somebody who is trying to trade in and out, you should understand that it's a lot better to play small cap name that you know it's going to move a lot faster versus these large caps where implied volatility will adjust. It's not going to stay like this, and I can guarantee you 100% that it's not going to stay elevated like this, and it's not going to be moving 5-6% every day like this. But this is a very large resistance. That's what I'm watching. I don't, as a disclosure, I don't have any position. I'm not trading it. I'm just watching from sidelines to basically give some sort of opportunity, pull back, maybe even burn premium. Just even if it doesn't pull back, it just burns premium, holds this 120, and then after election, we'll see what's the policy, right? How are we going to deal with in general trade? If Trump is going to come in, he's going to throw a lot of words, and maybe trade imbalance will come in again. I mean, tariffs will come in again to talk. At that moment, if it pulls back, I would be looking to trade it. But so far, right here, right now, no. I mean, when I'm late, I'm not going to chase it. So I'm basically waiting for implied volatility to crush, and then I'll be seeking to possibly play it with options. I don't trade shares, but that's my opinion. That's what I'm watching for Alibaba from here, and in general, all of these names in Asia. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.